The NFL 2025 draft is over, and it's time to dive into the Denver Broncos' updated depth chart. I'll break down which rookies could crack the starting lineup as early as Week 1, and who might carve out a significant role in the 2025 season. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. Okay, before I get too far ahead, let's take a step back. Understanding the past gives us some valuable context for what we can realistically expect moving forward. Looking at last year's rookie class, only a few first-year players saw major snaps. Bo Nix was the clear outlier. He played every game and took virtually every snap, aside from a few in victory formation. Outside of Nix, no other rookie started more than 10 games or even half the season. And if you go back another year to 2023, the picture is even leaner in terms of immediate rookie impact. Of course, Denver didn't have a first-round pick this year, so expectations for instant production should be tempered accordingly. To add more context, we went through Sean Payton's history. Back in his last 2 seasons with the New Orleans Saints, rookie contributions were hit or miss. In 2021, Paulson Adebo, a day 2 pick, started every game. But even a first-rounder like Peyton Turner barely saw the field due to injury, logging just 143 snaps. In 2020, Cesar Ruiz played roughly half the snaps and started slightly more than half the games. So, the idea that a new rookie class will instantly reshape the roster is more myth than reality. More often than not, it takes time. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Diana Rossini and Jacob Robinson from The Athletic send out a newsletter packed with insights, and one recent edition focused on rookie participation across the league. According to their data from the 2024 draft class, 87.5% of the 257 rookies played at least one snap. Only 10.7% of undrafted free agents did the same. Of that 87.5%, about half, 149 rookies, started at least one game. That amounts to just 10.5% of all NFL starters being rookies, the third highest group by percentage behind only players in their third year. So again, the data backs up the idea that rookies generally ease in rather than hit the ground running. Now, let's get into Denver's updated depth chart. Not everything has changed. Quarterback, for example, is still led by Bo Nix. There's no competition there heading into the off-season programs. At running back, things get a little more interesting. I've got RJ Harvey penciled in as RB2. That doesn't mean he won't eventually earn the starting role, but at this point, early May, we need to differentiate between an OTA depth chart and what we might see come Week 1. Just like Bo Nix last year, who didn't start off taking first-team reps in OTAs, Harvey won't leap to the top just because he's a shiny new draft pick. Coaches tend to be more cautious with rookie running backs, and it's not just about running the ball. Pass protection is a critical piece, and trust needs to be earned. I think Harvey can do that, but I don't see him skipping the line in front of more experienced guys just yet. I'd rank him ahead of UDFAs like Blake Watson and Audric Estime, but I'd still put Jaleel McLaughlin as the early favorite to lead in rushing yards to start the season. Harvey might end up with more by the end of the year, but early on, it's McLaughlin's job to lose. At wide receiver, the main draft addition is Pat Bryant from Illinois, a third-round pick. I've slotted him right behind Courtland Sutton on the depth chart. Not because he's wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3 right now, but because he's likely to be the backup at X receiver. If Sutton were to miss time, Bryant is probably the best fit to replicate his route tree. Marvin Mims has speed and could line up outside, but Bryant seems like the more natural replacement for Sutton's role. Moving on to tight ends, no major shakeups there. Caleb Lohner, the 7th rounder, is at the back of the line. Not surprising. Along the offensive line, Denver didn't draft anyone, but they did sign Clay Webb as a UDFA. He's an intriguing prospect. Former 5-star recruit, 3 years at Georgia, then transferred to Jacksonville State. On the field, he's a legitimate talent. Off the field, there are character concerns, including an unresolved hazing-related lawsuit from high school. If anyone's going to push Luke Wattenberg for the starting center role, it's Webb. Wattenberg hasn't locked that job down yet. Now let's shift to the defensive side of the ball, starting with the D-line. Zach Allen, DJ Jones, and John Franklin Myers remain the projected starters. The notable new name is Sai'vion Jones, a third-round pick out of LSU. Great size at 6 feet 6 inches, 280 pounds. He didn't produce big numbers last season, just 4.5 sacks and a couple of forced fumbles, but his traits are promising. I expect him to rotate in early and potentially become the first guy off the bench, especially if the veterans ahead of him need breathers on early downs. Linebacker is crowded. Dre Greenlaw slots into a starting role after arriving from San Francisco. Alex Singleton is returning from injury, and Drew Sanders, yes, he still exists, should be the top backup. Remember, Sanders tore his Achilles last April, which wiped out much of his rookie season. Denver has tried him both inside and outside, but I think they ultimately want him blitzing from the inside, where he thrived at Arkansas. As for rookie Quandarrius Robinson, the fourth rounder from Alabama, he's more of a long-term project. I've got him slotted behind Jonah Ellis on the outside. He might contribute on special teams, but don't expect to see much from him unless injuries strike. Now to the secondary. Let's talk cornerbacks. I'm placing Jahdae Barron, Denver's first-round pick, as CB3. He's likely to back up Jaquan McMillian in the slot, even though Barron has outside potential too. If Pat Surtain II or Riley Moss gets hurt, Barron might be the first one off the bench, but for now, I see McMillian keeping the starting nickel job. He's played too well the last 2 seasons to just get bumped down. Remember, nobody was complaining about Denver's nickel play before the draft, so let's not manufacture a reason to rush Barron onto the field just to justify the pick. If McMillian hits free agency next year, that's when Barron can step in long-term. But week 1? I think it's too soon. Let me know what you think. Should Barron start right away? Personally, I say no. He's talented, but a bit undersized and might need some adjustment time to handle bigger NFL receivers. Let's wrap up with the safeties. I've got Brandon Jones and Talanoa Hufanga as the starters, no debate there. Backups? PJ Locke and Devin Key get the nod for now. Sam Franklin, signed in free agency, could round out the group if Denver keeps 5, but most teams only carry 4 safeties, so that's still TBD. Finally, special teams. It's not the most exciting part of the roster, but it matters. Matt Hack, signed in free agency, is the early favorite to start at punter. Denver drafted Jeremy Crawshaw, the top punter in this year's class, in the 6th round. Expect a real competition between the two. They'll likely alternate reps during preseason. For now, I give the slight edge to the veteran, but it's essentially a coin flip. So, what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section.